You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey to wondrous lands whose boundaries are that of the imagination. Your next stop, the Cardone Zone.
All right. You know what time it is. It is the 239. What we got going on here? All right. Well, welcome to another sweet edition of the 239 Race Bill. I mean, seriously, we're doing it. We're here. We're having fun. Let's kick it up. Let's make it happen. My audio always sounds freaking weird. Like this new room, like echoes, so like always throws me off. All right, so tonight's show we're gonna do pretty good. We're gonna talk about a couple things. We're gonna have Vanjae Ramgeet on tonight. We're gonna talk about his racing and what's going on with him. Also, we were talking about some things that have been going on amongst the community also. I mean, one thing for sure is this right here. I don't know if you guys saw this nice little release right here. Australian Watercraft Racing released this. They're thrilled to announce an exciting new chapter for Australian personal watercraft racing. The Australian Watercraft Racing is partnering with WGP1 as the official WGP1 representative in Australia, effective as today. Has issued a public announcement this evening and is notifying the relevant international officials regarding endorsement and certification. 2026-25 World Cup season. This partnership marks a major milestone for the growth and global recognition of Australia's PWC racing. By aligning with the WGP1, we will be bringing world-class competition standards, expanding media coverage, and international opportunities to Australian riders, teams, and fans. Ultimately, the goal is to assist Australian racers throughout increased competition from overseas riders racing in Australia and contribute to the continued growth of our sport nationally and globally. So that looks like it's going to be pretty cool. Obviously, that's going to bring a new spot, a new tour stop to Australia. And I know you guys, we follow a lot. We follow a lot of the Australian racing, and their season's weird. Like right now, I think they're in their summer series and we're in our winter series right now. So their racing over there had a big spiff for a while and then shot up and really has turned out good. Our boy Bailey Cunningham of 8-1 Racing, them guys have really put together a great program, and really I think that is going to be some awesome news seeing that. The Australian Watercross Nationals will be the March 6th and 8th. 26th will now be the first round of Oceania of the inaugural WGP1 Continental Series. This event will be broadcast live and benefit from the supporters of expertise of the WGP1 organization. We'll be aligning our race classes and procedures with WGP, and this will help Australian riders to better compete internationally and attract overseas riders in Australia. That's pretty freaking awesome. Now, also, Australia has the exclusive right to officially endorse the Australian riders for participation in the upcoming 25 World Cup event. That's going to be freaking awesome. I'm super stoked to see what's up with that. Congrats to Tim O'Neill and the whole team over there. Them guys putting a heavy work. I'm loving to seeing that come together. So I'm definitely excited to see what level that takes up next, because I really feel like that's going to be a whole nother level. And I'm liking that right there. That's pretty big news. And then over here, Great Lakes Watercross, if you guys were checking out this. So if you guys check out their page, remember we were talking about this before, how as promoters and stuff like that, going into our winter series, getting in tune with all the fellow racers from the season and find out what they can fine tune and bring to the next level for next season. And here's another thing. P1 was doing this too, doing a where was it at? Rule change. So if you look right here, they were talking about, here's your rule change request open to comment. So they put this up here, and then these were some of the things that they had came up. These are people that have put in suggestions, and there was actually, I really liked, there was a lot of really good requests, justifications, and impact. Here's their levels of what they're talking about. And ultimately, there were some really good ones in here. Like here's one, request limit team size to 8 racers per team, which is understandable because if you get a powerhouse group, you know, you get like 5 or 7 racers on there, man, they're just crushing it, you know? So they're wanting to limit more than that. Like if you get they're talking about gathering up everybody. So limit team size to 8 racers per team. This last season got unruly with team sizes and did not encourage more than 2 super teams. So there's that one. They were talking about the Yamaha 1050 Superjet to compete in ski stock 1500, add performance multipliers. And I like some of these. What's up, Pinned Up Performance? I really like some of these in here too. There was one in here I had a question about. We'll see, where was that? This one right here. No E85 type fuels for 4-stroke. Now here, this kind of costs and everyone does it. So it levels the playing field at most cost. I'm kind of like confused on that one right there because it doesn't. Wait, oh, I didn't even see the comments on this one because it really, so like here to me, it sounds like the way it says, it looks like everyone's using it, so it's just level out. But my mind is this, I feel like E85 up north and you Midwest guys, like, isn't it plentiful? Like, don't you guys have E85 on your pumps all over the place? Because I know here in Florida, we have them almost all over the place. There's actually 2 E85 places here in town that I get fuel from because the Escalade rolls on E85 because it runs cooler intake temps. E85 is pump gas. Correct. So to me, E85 is a pump gas. Because if you go back to it, they were talking about how they didn't want no drum race fuel. Now I can go with that one with the drum race fuel, like the E10, MS109, all that stuff like this, like full blown. You can't get a pump. Unfortunately, I can say I can get race fuel at a pump too because there is a drag strip right down the road that sells all kinds of race fuel, and some of our Sunoco's and racetracks actually sell race fuel. 110, I think it is. Not 110. Yeah, is it? Or is it 110? I have to double check it again. So I didn't see the comments on here, so let me see. I want to see the comments on this. JST says, let's think about how this is a business and that there are numerous teams, also the tour sponsored by E85 companies. E85 isn't that expensive. It's actually cheaper. E85 is cheaper than gas. Several teams in the region run and are successful on pump E85. Pump E85 is far cheaper than premium unleaded that these machines recommend. And I will say this right now, 93 octane is hit or miss because sometimes you're not actually getting 93 octane, and I've actually seen some of our boats get burned up doing pump gas that's supposedly high octane and it's not. Recommend to run stock from the manufacturer. Thus, an argument based on cost carries no substance. As far as performance, once again, there are several successful competitors running premium gasoline-based fuels. Thus, the argument that competitors have to switch to competitive is completely unfounded. The fuel doesn't win the race, neither. Fuel, and actually E85 burns more, so you get less longevity at E85. It's way cheap. Listen, I'm paying like, I think we were paying $2.25 for E85. So average price per gallon pump E85 3 states held events this year. 210, 93 average 395. Boy, I would love to have the 210. X85 from VP costs $5.50 a gallon. MS109, C85, and Ignite E98 and 1R are all over $10. Even if you factor an increased burn rate at 50% when realistically it's closer to 25 to 30%, you're still over $1 cheaper. Your fuel cost savings go into supporting mods to run E85, and if you even need them based on your setup. So as it was said earlier, cost is not valid argument for this rule change. Just get rid of the tunes and everything's solved. That's the dumbest thing I've ever said. I don't know what Gary Berker's been on lately, but he has been on the most hate train racing like venue I've ever seen him on. I've known Gary for a long time, and every time I see one of his comments, it's always like this pure negative. That'll be exciting. Just get rid of the tunes. True Horn, Gary Berker, then get rid of all mods. The tune was easier for me to do than the following intake rate right plate. Both have climb on the floor, air intake impeller by far harder. Again, that's another Drew Horn. While I didn't run E85 last year, still deciding if I'm going next year or not. I'm not a fan of this change. For me, the tune is the easiest mod to perform. I love that. No ED5, yeah. So to me, I really feel like when I wrote this question in here, it seems like it got deleted. I don't understand why it got deleted, but there was a comment here, and it was actually a legit, like, not even negative comment. So my comment was, is it E85 at the pump in the Midwest? I thought it was the most fashionable. So let's see what it says. E85's pump and it's cheaper than 91. So this one right here kind of had me confused. Improved fairness, because the wording, and I like what Great Lakes is doing here, so I'm not gonna this isn't me bashing them, right? I am so sick of this verbiage bullshit with our rules and our rule books. It's just, it's so annoying. Like, why can't we have, I swear I'm gonna go to the Circle Track rule book and get our rule books from them guys and show you like the bomber class and the pro stock class, these classes, and show you how the rules are. The rule books are like this thick, but it's actually it breaks down, there's 6 pages of engine, there's 10 pages of suspension, there's 7 pages of chassis, then there's brakes, gear ratio, transmissions, fuel, carb, all this stuff. To me in jet ski world, this is be really simple. Like for instance, if we want to do fuel types, the one guy said he'd rather do a tune. If you want to limit the class, you can have 2 options. You can tune with a fuel and keep your stock intake rate stop prop, or I don't know, man. I think some of that stuff's nonsense. I hate the verbiage, because to me it makes no sense. No E85 type fuels for 4-stroke, but then it says cost. Justification is cost, and everyone does it, so it levels the playing field. But why do we want to justify getting rid of it? Cheaper. I don't know. I like what they did here. Good comments over here. I didn't even go back and read the comments. I like this one right here, and I wish all the promoters would get on board with this one right here. Sea-Doo HX cylinder heads may be modified or aftermarket, but compression must not exceed 175. I am 100% about this. Look at Billy Dearman. No, now you can run sport spec anywhere. This is the only way to make it fair for everyone, including people without machine shops, because it is becoming more and more complicated to get our compression and our squish. You can get compression and squish when we get an aftermarket head with domes. If you guys think I feel like this right here, if everyone thinks it's unfair, it should be all the way across, because really it comes down to it. All you gotta do is check compression and you mark the cylinders. It's not that fucking hard. I believe this right here to me is ultimately the best mod you can do to your, if we were allowed, taking my head, taking the 2 fucking parts of our cylinders off and finding a machine shop to do it just right is such a pain in the ass. And I can buy a fucking head with domes, specifically match exactly what they want us to do, and we are guaranteed to have that at every race, and we don't have to worry about our squish changing. We have to worry about the warpage of our head. We have to worry about heat messing it up. There's so many variables in here. It becomes a disaster. My compression on my HX is I think 165. I just give up on it. Maybe 165 is just as long, because I'm not fucking around with this, doing this head work anymore. It's such a pain in the ass. I mean, just people already complaining about it. This is the only way to make people fit. What's up? Jay says, it's not spec legal. That means building a second boat or changing the head every time you want to run spec. But, so, if all of us agree on this one, this is another, you guys remember this. All right, so actually they're outlaws, so it really kind of hurts because they're not in this spec. But this group still communicates with a whole bunch of other sanctioning bodies, right? Other promoters. If all the promoters see that people want us to do this and we all rally behind it, we can make this change happen. It's 2026, guys. 1996 Sea-Doo 717s. And let me tell you right now, all rotary housings are cleaned up. All intake from SBT or WSM are sandblasted and they're cleaned up. So technically in the rules, we're not allowed to have any tooling on any machine. Just like our stator pumps. Everyone's talking about polished or blueprint stator pumps. If you get a brand new WSM or a, if you get a brand new WSM or SBT pump or stator cover, or not stator housing, or rotary valve housing or intake on the Sea-Doos, they take and rebuild those, and sometimes they machine them and clean them out. So technically, we're buying illegal parts, and you can get DQ'd for it. So we gotta get to this level. We're still racing 20-plus-year-old skis. We gotta like get to the level where we're at. Like we're like 2 decades past this, and we can only use the parts we can get. Like we should really like think about this. Like I can understand like 5 years after they weren't making it anymore, there's abundance of parts, but we're not in that one no more. Like, should you be able to either run either a Yamaha or a Kawasaki base motor in Vanjae 2? I'm not getting an X2 World because the one thing, now here's when I saw this one. Addition of allowing molded and footholds in novice ski class. All right, because I know there's a lot of people talking about how some of the rec riders have footholds in their ski class. Now, as a runabout guy, anything that holds our feet in is absolutely dangerous. I've raced surf skis, not raced, I've ridden surf skis and I've rode in the surf with them with footholds, super jets with footholds or SXRs with footholds. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you guys are trying to race one of those ones, I know you're just thinking about getting racing, you're gonna wanna get rid of those immediately anyways, because the one time your foot gets stuck in there and you get ejected and it about breaks your ankle off, I'm just saying. Like, I understand you guys are trying to get these guys in, but we really should suggest these guys, like, help them out. Like, let them practice on another boat for a little bit. Like, this is where the fellowship comes into play. Like, if you got someone that has a ski that they want to get into racing or interested in getting into racing, why don't you help them out? Get them on the boat. They're not going to race the same class as you. Get them on your boat, your ski, let them run. I just don't like the footholds. Like, I've seen it. I've seen D-Mac get his freaking leg broke. I've seen gentleman Jim Bennett get his leg broke, getting stuck in those things. I've seen a bunch of rec riders, freestyle guys, surf rec riders, get their legs dangled up real bad. And I don't want to see a new racer get into a situation because it might ruin them for racing forever. So to me, I feel like instead of allowing it, why don't we work with these teams, these guys or people, females, dudes, whatever, and partner them up with them. Like, hey, listen, we're going to be at Racine Beach this weekend. I got a super jet you can race. Come help me. It's my race boat. I'll mentor you. Like, do the teamwork. Help them out. Get them hooked, and then let them buy a boat. And find someone to buy it. Jet Ski Racing Channel. Worst rule in P1 is that I must have my stock exhaust flap. I went 1-1-1 in St. Pete and then was disqualified from the last moto because I had no factory exhaust flap. I thought the Yamaha, oh no, they did keep that. That's right. For the longest time, I thought didn't the Yamaha's pinned up performance, didn't they get rid of the flap because it was the chamber, wasn't it? It was the chamber or something like that one. No, because it was melting exhaust. I thought the rule changed because it was melting exhaust and you were able to get rid of it. Because I know in the Sea-Doos we're allowed to get rid of our what do they call it? That chamber, that resonator chamber, because it would melt and it would sink our boats right away. Oh, listen, don't even get me on P1 yet, man. Listen, I don't know about you guys, but I think all stock class should have a through-hull exhaust. I want to hear the superchargers on the skis. I want to hear the rumble as it goes by. Shit, I wouldn't mind hearing the EXs and the Sea-Doo Sparks go by with exhaust. I feel like every class should have a through-hull exhaust. Keep your water box, keep your everything. It doesn't increase power at all. It just makes it sound badass. I'm with you on that one, the Jet Ski Racing Channel. That's stupid. The flap. Just like they DQ'd people, like they were DQing me because my factory hose pipes were not in the right locations. It doesn't do anything. I proved it. I remember I ran whole shot and they said that my intake tubes were giving fresh air for the intake. So we moved them, verified it, went out there and ran another whole shot, exactly the same thing. And then they said I was cheating, so they checked my prop, same prop. They checked everything. It was all factory. Went back on a Moto 3, ran another whole shot and led for a while, and they somehow said I did something wrong. Fuck that shit. Fuck that class. Request aftermarket fixed position trim tabs should be permitted in stock runabout. Detachable trim plates may be removed when installing aftermarket trim tabs. I thought we were allowed to run trim tabs. Now, I know in runabout, I know they're talking about the X4s and stuff like that and EXs, but I know stock runabout on PXs, we're allowed to remove our trim tabs and put the factory metal works ones in there because we're having a hell of a time with that one. Some of these requests are nice. Modified thrust and steering nozzles on 1100 runabout stock class. I'm not familiar with that one, so I can't give my 2 cents. So this is one that I see a bunch of people getting all pissed off about this. Add a sport modified class. Eligible motors will be pseudo da. See, Bill Dearman's like, no, it's been tried, the class failed, blah, blah, blah. Right? We're not worried about that one because this one's sticking to OEM hulls. But you can modify the inside of the hulls. Now, so this is where Sport GP was becoming really successful, is when we were keeping stock hulls, right? They started allowing, because the aftermarket hulls really weren't coming out. You had Hamilton, it had a couple those jammer blasters, whatever it was out there, but I like this. You want to see the Sport GP class get big again? Sport class get big? Don't listen to these ones over here, these bunch of crybabies. I'm not a Racer HX person for sure, but the idea sounds great. As Bill said, more classes could mean less. Nah. Because before the stupid freaking, what was it? That XPL HX haul, or the freaking Frankenstein haul. I remember when Sport GP had 18 on the line, and these were factory OM hauls. There was probably one Watusi haul out there. There was Sam Nemi on his Whammo haul. There was Johnny Smith on a Bullet haul, and then Bill Dearman on a Bullet haul. And then the rest of us had factory HX hauls or carbon fiber XX hauls. We could find them, but we could never get them to stay together. They were all doing phenomenal, and then we started throwing the 4-strokes in there, and that's when all hell broke loose. I feel like this right here, this rule right here, if we keep them OEM hauls, right there, that word right there, OEM hauls, and you keep them the 720, 787, 951, the Cowie motors, no 4-strokes, all 2-strokes, I guarantee you that Sport GP class will get big. I promise you, I think that class will get big 100-fold. I'm thinking that class will get big. And there's that no drum style fuels. I really feel like for the most racers, like the big teams, the big sponsorship teams, that, you know, they can afford that shit, but it comes down to like what someone said to me a long time ago. If you can't afford it, then you shouldn't be doing it. Well, if I can't afford it and I'm trying to afford it and I'm trying to race and try to support and try to be out there, then I should have to be able to be in a class I compete with without having to run with people that are running fucking $1,000 fuels. That's how I feel. I'm with that one. How would this be tested? Fuel doesn't change specs of stock engine. All right, so most mechanically inclined people will understand this one. So E85, I'm just gonna spill the beans. E85, I already told you, it runs cooler air intake temps. If you run cooler air intake temps, you can do what? More timing. If you got better fuel, burns quicker, burns cleaner, you can run more timing. If you can run more timing, you get what? Hotchkiss, you in the room? More power. And especially the supercharged motors, if we can get more power, that means we can get more RPMs. If we get more RPMs, that gives us more boost. More boost. More boost equals more power. So when it says fuel doesn't change the spec of a stock engine, yes it does. Yes it does. Changes it. Just like when we were running our Cowie 1100 motors, we were running avgas. What does avgas have? It's more rich oxygenated fuel. What does more oxygenated fuel do? Like when I read some of these comments and people say these comments about, and I'm not bashing nobody, but like if you're a real racer and you're like me, I'm a real fucking mechanic. Like I work on some crazy shit, and I've seen some old timers do some shit that would blow your mind when it comes to fuel. I've seen carbureted motors put down thousands of horsepower. Carbureted motors dominating on fuel injection. Just saying. So if you can come up there and say fuel doesn't change anything, yes it does. Because if you're smart on a computer and you know how to do fuel trims and know how to read everything data, and you got O2 sensors like I got O2 sensors in my 4-stroke, then you can understand and do data logging. Just saying. More power. But I'm not going to continue talking this, and we want to get Vanjae on here. But go to this page. Awesome. Great Lakes Watercross. I like what they're doing. I really do like what they're putting together. And to me, like, that is the stuff we need to talk about. Also, you guys notice East Coast Watercross is doing what they do best. And our boy, Shawnee Boy, has sent me a text message saying this. Oh, where'd he go? Can you mention we are hard at work on the schedule and we'll release it soon. East Coast Watercraft has 5 weekends, 10 rounds of summer racing, 2 weekends, summer racing, 2 weekends, 4 rounds of February winter race at Alfred. Pro Watercross kicks off a national tour in Louisiana at Morgan City, March 27th and 29th. And that race will also be a Naughty Water Texas Series opener. Pro Watercross then goes to Florida in April to Avon Park and Sebring. And that's all you can release just yet. So, Pro Watercross is going to come after Louisiana, Morgan City. That'll be their opener, which will be March 27th, 29th. So weather still should be kind of chilly, but a little bit warm. But also, you guys know that we're going to be in February with 2 back-to-back weekends. So that'll be 4 rounds racing over there in Alfred. I think that's it. The London Bridge is burning down. What's up, Peter Johnson? So, East Coast Watercross, Pro Watercross doing their thing, and I still haven't heard what banner Pro Watercross is going to be flying. So if you guys understand, been watching what's been going on, a lot of things have been like, a lot of moving parts in the industry right now. You got Dustin Farthing really doing some weird shit. He's got something in the works. I don't know if you guys realized, last race of P1 Aqua X, Michelle Petro and Sean were not in their role positions as they always have. Also, P1's Powerboat has sold their Powerboat racing to the IHR guys. Then you got Race World offshore. Ron, he's got stuff going on, so they might be merging and buying their section over there. So that leaves P1 Aqua X, the PWC section of it, opening up to possibility of a buyout, a change in management, a change in ownership, or possibly no racing at all. So P1 Aqua X is going to be interesting for 2026. And then you got all kinds of drama going on with the World Finals and a change up going over there. Not really drama, just people complaining as usual, but you still show up and race. The biggest factors I can say with the World Finals is I don't know about the Triple Crown yet. I haven't heard anything on that one either. Batsold. And I really think the Triple Crown is probably going to, I'm not sure. I'm not even going to speak on that one because I have no idea what I'm talking about. So, I think with, Sean Dudek and Outlaw James, they were race directing over there at World Finals. Really comes down to figuring out, there's a couple entities going on. We really have to watch what's going on. As of right now, I can say this. Support your region. Go to your local regional race. If there's a race close to you that we've been preaching this over, go to it, attend it, help it. If you see suggestion boxes, put in some suggestions. Let's get the talk out there. I'm really thinking we do, because that can go a long ways. Big changes. I mean, really, if you think about it, dude, real big changes. I'm curious to see what's going on with that one. And hopefully Lake Alfred, we got November, I think, 2 weeks? You got Hydro Drags down there in Boca with Billy 2. That's going to be interesting. We might bring the JP Racing Turbo Ski out there to have fun with it. Depends if my hand gets better. I don't know if you guys notice. If you guys have been following my story, I sliced it up pretty good, but I'm out of the cast and I can move it a little bit better. So, enough bullshitting. Let's get our boy in. Let's get our man Vanjae in here. Oh, let me get my... All right. Well, let's see if we can get our boy in here. I'm going to go ahead and send him a text. Tell him we're getting ready to call. Get your questions ready. All right. Let's see. Let's see how this works. It's been a hot minute. Of course my camera's not working. What's up, my dude?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Let's see if this camera's gonna work, because I freaking, this stupid camera. Nothing. It won't work. I'm sorry. It worked for me and Daryl, but it doesn't want to work for you.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
So, welcome to the show, Vanjae. I'm glad to have you on. Our 2025 world champion runabout box stock on a Sea-Doo. I mean, putting Sea-Doo on the podium this year. But really, it comes down to you're a Yamaha rider too, though, aren't you?
I mean, I started off on Sea-Doo, but then I switched over to Yamaha for P1.
Right.
to race that circuit with that. But yeah, I mean, I started off on Sea-Doo, so kind of went by that.
So let me ask you this, because I'm a Sea-Doo racer. I love my RXPX, especially the brand new 21s when they first came out. I'm not really a fan of the 22 hull. Racing the Yamaha and the Sea-Doo. So obviously we all know why everyone races Yamahas for P1. It's a more comfortable, more, how do you say, durable on the body. Unless you're on a GP 1800, then you get your shit kicked out of you. But ultimately, like, a lot of guys and gals are racing the Yamahas because you get on a big FX show. It's still got big power, but it's comfortable, correct?
Yep, that's right.
But when you go on a buoy course, nothing beats an RXPX, does it? What do you say?
Nah, I wouldn't say. No. It's hard to beat a Sea-Doo in a buoy course. They turn so well. I mean, they're quick. Yamahas are quick too, but they're just boats.
Right.
To me.
So a GP 1800, like, the only Yamaha that I fell in love with, and I still, like, if I'm gonna build a drag boat, I'm gonna do one, is an FZR. I absolutely love the handling of FZR because it had that raw power, and it would go into a corner. When I bought my RXPX, I think that's why I fell in love with it, because it reminded me of that. My first ever racing an FZR, and I placed fourth, in the Naples Championship, and it was amongst some good racers then too, So it's like, man. But when you jump on a GP 1800, they're so fast, but they don't have any edge to it. Like, you really gotta, like, manhandle it.
Yep.
Unless you're a big dude, unless you're a big dude like like Tori or Dustin Farthing or some of those guys that got some meat on them, they're able to manhandle them. I mean, really, it comes down to rider etiquette, pretty much.
Yeah, the smaller guys like me and you, that gets hard to handle.
But the RXPs love to throw some people, though. I love seeing people that like, oh, I'm gonna jump on the Sea-Doo, and they go out there and they don't understand the concept. Like, you don't gotta turn until like the last minute. Like, some guys, they'll start turning like a Yamaha. You start getting in the turn, and all of a sudden it bucks and cooks and throws them off. It's like, yeah, you don't do that. Going into
before World Finals. Before World Finals, I mean, I only rode my ski maybe 3 times, and the first time I rode it was in P1, and that's kind of what I was doing, was trying to sweep it like I would do on my GP, and I mean, that thing just hooked on me and tossed me on top of my head, honestly.
They don't like it, does it? And what's really ironic too is, like, it's when you have your legs in the gunny, right, in the gunnels, it's angled to where it makes you put your knees into the seat. So, like, your footing, a lot of guys put their feet behind sometimes because of that standing stance. And it's like, I try to tell my girlfriend all the time, like, the Sea-Doo, you just sit in it, lock your feet, and it presses your knees in the seat, and you scoot up to that little hump, and you rock out. That's all you got to do. Just rock out like a go-kart.
Yeah, but just something to get used to for sure. It's completely different than a Yamaha, like what I'm used to now.
Oh, man. So, speaking of that, let's get some background check. Where are you from? What got you into racing?
Cayman Islands.
Nice.
And my brother was racing since I was a little kid, so kind of just followed in his footsteps, really.
So you did a lot of racing in the Cayman Islands. When did you come to the States?
The first time I came over was to the World Finals to watch in 2009. And then in 2012, we hooked up with Eric Lagopoulos, and I raced there. And then, I mean, I was over a few times here and there, Naples World Championships, which I won, I think, in 2017 in the novice class. And I think in 2018, I won in the novice class, and I stepped up to the pro class and got second. And then I hooked up with Dennis, and we just started racing over here full time pretty much after that.
D-Mac Racing. I met D-Mac and his wife Jennifer way back when Brad and Brent Vanley owned the Region 7 tour. Man, what an awesome family. So compared to going back to the Cayman Islands, give us a little background on the Cayman Islands racing, because they don't talk about too much, but I know there's a big series over there. A lot of people come from there and go there to race. Like, what kind of style racing is it over there?
We have I would say it's close course mainly.
Okay.
That runs throughout the year. We have a couple big races. One of them is a race around the island called Jet Around Cayman.
Okay.
And it's a pretty big race. A couple guys from here went over there and raced before. You know, we had Dustin Farden, Eric Francis, and those guys. Go back in probably early 2000s, I would say, to latest 2009 is what I would remember.
Right.
We have another one called Eastern Surf Challenge, which is you basically in and out of a channel.
Right.
And it's a big circle, and it's really rough. But that's the type of racing. I mean, it's mainly close course racing right now.
And it's a lot of, it's basically it's all offshore, not offshore, but surf racing. It's not like a bay or back in behind islands where it's a cove. It's all like right out in the surf.
I think they do some out in the surf in the circuit series, but there are a couple locations that they are like basically behind the reef, but it still gets choppy out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Almost like when we raced in the Bahamas in the port, right? Something like that.
Correct.
Man, that was a badass race, dude. I'm not gonna lie, that was probably one of my favorite places to ever go. I'm so happy I got invited to do that, because that was like, I think that was one of the best P1 courses ever, because it was super fast. Like it was fast, and it wasn't like, it didn't beat you to death. It was still rough and still wild, but it felt like a very fast, fun course.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, that's the type of weather I grew up in. So, and that you'd get that waves bouncing off the seawall, get that cross chop going. I loved it.
Yep. And then the wind, I remember when the wind changed in the cross chop, and it was like, what just happened? Like, it was like we were going with it. It was smooth. And then all of a sudden, like maybe 10 minutes in the race, the weather changed, like the wind changed, and it just started like getting worse and worse. And at one point, I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I had a good I think I was maintaining fourth, and ended up having electrical issues with our boat that we had. And it just shut off on me, so I had to pull it in. I was so mad. Probably one of my best race weekends. If I would have finished, probably would have been my best finishes I've ever had in P1 in my time racing them. We just had mechanical issues, typical Sea-Doo stuff sometimes. But so going into so going into this season with P1, man, it looked like you had a strong fighting year. I mean, every time I was reading the standings, it looked like you were right there in the contention. And didn't you finish off strong, right?
Yeah, I finished off strong. I mean, the beginning of the year was kind of rocky. We had some motors go here and there, typical stuff. And then I would say from Sheboygan on, it was just all gas after that. I mean, I was always there with the fast guys, always up in the top three as much as I could be. With guys having mechanicals, that helped out a lot,
Right.
I spin my own wrenches, so I go over everything, triple check, we constantly checking the boat. And yeah, I mean, we just managed to finish the races pretty much and stayed consistent.
Talking about this, one thing we were talking about, mechanical issues, P1 has that level of racing where you have to get every moto finish. One of the things that's so frustrating about P1 that I always try to fought for, it's like, I feel like if we go past the halfway mark, if we're halfway through the halfway mark, we should be getting points. It's like, I know some guys that raced all the way up to maybe 5 laps to go, and they're still getting DNFs. It's like, it's so frustrating because it's like, in P1, every point counts. Like, you have to finish a race. Like you said, some of the top guys, Devin had a stupid DNF or an issue that one time, and it just threw him out of the contingency. And it's like, man, you can have flawless year and you miss one stupid race and get no points. It throws you for a loop, because everyone, you've probably heard me on the show many times, like when I talk about the pros, the top 10 are all 1, 2, and 3 at any given day. The top 10 pro racers are at any given day 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, any one of them. So it's, every race has a finish. What kind of mindset does that do with you? You're pretty much a privateer at one level, as that level of racing, how much mind stress does it put on you when you have to look at racing in that level? You're going into a weekend and you're like, man, my boat could be hurt. We don't have time to do X, Y, and Z. Do we take a chance and run it? What kind of ideas and thought process do you guys put through?
I mean, for me, it's just, as I said before, I mean, just triple checking the boat, you know what I mean? Obviously, going on to the start line, you're always thinking, did I check that or did I do this? You never know what you could have possibly forgotten. But, I mean, with people like late Dean and his son now that's taken over, Dustin, helping me out with the parts and stuff, we got the best stuff that we could possibly have on the boat. And I mean, it's down to me at that point to just ride the boat,
right.
At that point, really, just try to stay level-headed,
right?
And, just get out there and finish, pretty much.
So if you compare P1 closed course racing and the Caymans, if you could pick 3 locations, it doesn't matter what series it was, what would be your number 1, followed by your second, your third locations for racing or an event?
Definitely Cayman, Jet Around Cayman. That's a beautiful race. It's just a fun race all around.
Right.
I would say Bahamas.
Yeah.
Because again, it's a fun race. It's an expensive race, but it's fun.
It was expensive.
And yeah, and honestly, a rough Daytona is what I would say.
Oof.
Yeah.
All right, so hold on.
Yeah.
A rough Daytona and what type of racing? Closed course or P1? I'll say closed course. I would love I mean, closed course in Daytona, coming on the shore, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be gnarly for sure.
I mean, P1, you got to get...
I mean,
Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
I love P1 is what I was going to say. I mean, I love racing P1. It takes so much on a body of everyone racing it that you got to be not only just physically fit, but you have to be so mentally strong to finish that race strong. That I just love that type of racing.
Yeah. I mean, I've said this before, like, remember we were talking before this, P1 back in the day was a little bit more, you could really kind of like wing it. But at this level, like the last year I raced, not last year, I think the year before my purple broke finally, my black boat when I got it finally put together, I realized I can't do it by myself. Like having kids, working, supporting my house, taking care of everything, like, I have 0 gym time, right? And it's like, I can mentally, I mean, a lot of people know me, like, I don't ride, I don't practice. I can literally jump on a boat and not touch it for 6 months and run flawless, right? And everyone's like, how do you do it? I was like, I can mentally just turn the switch off in my head and just turn off all aches, all pains. But like P1, like I have a solid hell of a 12-minute run in me, right? 12 minutes, I am unstoppable. And then all of a sudden, like the 15-minute comes around, and I'm like, fuck. And then like you finally see the halfway mark. I think it's when I see that halfway, I hear the whistle and the whistle and the green flag, blowing. I think I just tell myself, this is bullshit. This is stupid. But I mean, there's 15.
It's crazy that you say that because it's the same as me. Like I really don't have that much time. We're kind of in the same boat. Like, to get in the gym and so forth. You know, my workout is turning wrenches all day, just like yours, pretty much.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
What I do.
That's my workout. Yeah, I mean, I work at a dealership. I get home. I work in my own shop at home, turning wrenches. You know, I mean, that's pretty much my workout.
How about this? You know, I bet you anything, your level of energy and stamina probably was peaked, right? And then you got your firstborn. I guarantee you, everything's changed now, right? Like you find yourself getting that dad moment, like, I feel like doing shit. Me and the kid are kicking it, right?
Yeah, no,
right?
100%.
All right, so
100%.
That's what I explained to everybody. So I got 3 now, but my 2, my son and my daughter, like really, like I was full blown doing side jobs 24/7, pulling in $1,000 extra every weekend. And then my son got bored. I was like, we'll hang out with him. Nah, we're cool. We'll take him all over the place. We'll do this. We'll go to the races. Then my daughter was born. I'm like, dude, fuck this. And then they got like 3 and 2, and I'm like, I'm not doing this no more. This is not fun. I'm like, fuck this shit.
I feel you.
So I got.
Yeah, I'm.
Go ahead.
And I was just gonna say, I got a good group of people around me. You know what I mean? Like my side job is technically, we have a business.
Right.
My business partner Andre, you know what I mean? When I kind of slack off, he picks up the slack. You know what I mean? So I kind of got some breathing room there. This is pretty much all I was gonna say.
Hell yeah. Yeah. So like I was saying, like I have absolute I can talk behind this monitor and this keyboard and this platform, and I can rant and rave and say you should do this, do that, P1 or closed course, all this shit, but I will say I will be the first one, and everyone can vouch for this. I got mad respect for all endurance racers that go out there because the commitment level that people put in for that, the level of training you have to get physically, Christian Daly, prime example. I've been racing with Christian Daly for a long time, and he's probably one of my most absolute top 5 favorite racers to race with, sport class, because the kid, when I was racing, it was constantly learning something with him on the HX in the sport class. He would always just come out of nowhere with like some kind of physique or riding style or like an aggression if it wasn't aggression. And then, see him go into this freaking mini Hulk, right? And just come out and just put hasn't raced he was out of P1. He was out of racing for 2 years and then came back and got a championship. Like, mad respects for the endurance racers because it really is next level racing. And I'm curious to see what's going to happen next year because I know you can see it too. There's a big change in the whole jet ski world right now that where everyone's like sitting on the edge of the seats wondering what's going to happen. And what is your focus point and game plan for 26? What is your idea? You know, you're coming off a close course, Sea-Doo with Dean's team, you know, Dustin taking over, his late father passed away. You got a championship with the World Finals with that one. Like, what is your focus going into 26?
I mean, I would, as I said before, I love racing P1, but we don't know where that's going right now.
Right.
I've heard of anything right now, so I mean, I would love to race the P1, but definitely my eyes are on what's going on in the close course world right now. Also, I'm just looking to see what's going to be out there. I mean, I'm just waiting to see what everyone's going to drop, and I'm surely going to be at a few close course with this boat, doing testing. You know what I mean? Just getting everything going for Dean and Dustin and everything like that. You know what I mean? To try and get these setups dialed in that when a customer reaches out, you know, I mean, hey, I want to go race close course on this boat. We got a pretty strong setup now, but we want to dial it in a little bit more and give those customers a better product, you know. So I'm gonna do some testing for them in the close course stuff next year for sure, and then we'll see what goes on with P1. I'll definitely be at P1 if it's there though.
So what you're telling me is you're going to be in Lake Alfred in February to race on a close course runabout, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, my wife's thinking about doing it now too. So.
Oh shit! Because it was a decent turnout. Long as we don't get freaking Russo out there crying about the course being too small because he doesn't know how to race closed course anymore because he's lost. I mean, weren't you out?
About my boy like that.
I could bust Russo's chops all day. I'll send him a text right now talking shit to him. But I'm definitely looking forward because we had a pretty good, decent turnout for runabout at Lake Alfred for East Coast Watercross, and they're coming back for 2 weekends in a row. And then, I don't know if you heard, but they're going to be going over to Morgan City, Louisiana for P1's opener. And then they're coming back over here to Sebring to race also. So
Pro Watercross, you mean?
Yep, Pro Watercross.
Is
yeah. So
okay,
East Coast, so East Coast Watercross, Sean Dudek, and then Naughty Water, those guys absorb Pro Watercross. So AJ is not involved anymore.
Okay,
so it's going to be new management, new staff, new everything. So it'd be good to see some Florida racing. And I know they were talking about possibly going somewhere in Georgia and Carolinas, possibly. I don't know. It might be just hypothetical, but it'd be interesting to see a whole bunch of close course come back to Florida again because it'd be good. It's nice to get good training and practice for everybody and just be able to have fun. Like at P1, I feel like it's so stressful sometimes because it's such a serious commitment. Like there's no, you really can't have the fun that you can't have at the closed course like it used to be. Like I remember, like I said, I remember P1 back in the day. Remember when we went to Cocoa Beach and we had to wait and wait and wait? There wasn't one mad motherfucker there, was there? It was pretty much all laughing, joking, and shooting the shit, right? That shit ain't fly no more. That shit ain't fly no more.
No. Nah. I think Miami was the same way too that year. We went to Miami.
Oh my
remember?
God, dude. Don't even remind me of that. They left me. There's videos of me with my ski, my two-stroke. They had sport class. Remember we raced the sport? I'm in the air clearing my boat out, and they green flag it. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Well, you were ready. Yeah, I'm ready with my boat sticking out of the water, cleared out. Makes sense, yeah. Ooh, Miami was rough, bro. But you know, did you see that they're going to contract to do a full cleaning of that Miami stadium? So the potential of us going back there might be soon, not in the near future, but they're doing a rehab to that place, so it might be another location we can go back to. That was a pretty cool venue, though, wasn't it?
It was, yes, for sure.
It was a little questionable. It was a little questionable where we were, but it was a badass spot.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, especially being downtown.
Man, they didn't like us down there, boy. We took over that bridge. Did you see all those people? They're like, what is going on with all the jet skis and all the people? It was a madhouse. I thought there was going to be some chaos. But that was a good time, though. I forgot about Miami, bro. Good job on that one. What other locations were there in P1 that was pretty wild? I don't want to ever go back to Daytona on P1. Never. I can't stand the no four-wheeler nonsense and the putting us in the parking lots. You remember when we first started going to P1 before the Hard Rock? We were next to the strip joint parking lot. Were you attending then?
No, that was probably. I don't think I was there then, actually.
Ask D-Mac about the fights breaking out in the parking lot. He'll tell you about that one. I think Jennifer knows more about it than D-Mac does. Man, all right, so we already talked about that one. So before we end up the route, I got a question for you. 3 questions for you. So I love asking my veteran racers and rookie racers, what are 3 things for a racer getting into the sport? whether they're thinking about racing runabout, sport class, ski class, or they don't even have no idea, but they're interested, what are 3 things you have for a pro tip advice for it?
Definitely coming from my background and hooking up with Dennis and so forth, I would definitely say to reach out to some of the guys that they're seeing racing, to point them in the right direction, like you're asking me right now, or just ask them for general help, you know what I mean, to get to races and so forth, and at races, you know what I mean, because there's a lot that goes on at the races, and if you can have help from someone that's been in it for a while, definitely do that. Definitely do stock class, whatever you do.
Stock class, yeah.
Do the lowest class you can possibly do.
Yeah, stock class. Make it easy as possible. Don't jump in like, you know what, I'm gonna do GP1. Sure. No.
Yes, for sure. And I mean, just pick local races that are easy for you to get to.
Correct.
Support your local races. They're the guys that are gonna help you get around the country if you want to racing, you know, so support your local races. That would be the 3 things that I would have to say.
I like that one because it made me think about when I got into it, I teamed up with Robert Say of Absolute Performance, and you know, we worked together. Like, the one thing I say is, let's say you don't even know, you want to get into racing but you don't know, go with a team or your local guy that lives close to you that's racing. Be like, hey man, I like to help, you know, can I ride with you? I can be your holder or pit guy. The fastest way to get into the sport and is learning how the behind the scenes work. You know, the one thing I say too is be nice to your holders. your pit help, you got to take care of it. Like, you can't, like, sometimes my girlfriend, I'm like, babe, just give me a moment, because I'm in that mode, and I'm fuck this ski, I'm gonna burn it to the ground, fuck this 4-wheeler and this beach cart. They both piss me off. Just let me be. Like, so like behind the scenes, like, it really, I like that one. Like, team up with someone local and get the behind the scenes. I like that one, man. It really works good, Vanjae. I like that one. Well, definitely, man. I really hope to see you this winter series coming up, the East Coast Watercross. It'll be interesting. If we don't see you, I look forward to watching. You know, I love watching the results and seeing what your regiment's going to be for next year. And as always, you know the routine. Cardone always got the corner for you. Always hit me up anytime. At this point, I'll leave the mic. You can say your thanks or holler or anything like that. The mic's all yours.
Yeah, I mean, all I can say is just thank you to everyone that supports me, you know, all my sponsors, Fly Racing, Dean Strong, and the people themselves in general, not just the companies. Dustin has my back. Dustin Chari has my back anytime I need it. I can pick up the phone right now and call him and be like, you know, he has my back. Liquid Molly, VP Racing Fuels, you know, pretty much just anyone that helps me. Dennis Mack, you know, I pick it up right now. He's coming to my house, you know what I mean? Anything I need. Pick up the phone for Dustin Farthen in general too. You know, any one of those guys, everyone helps me. I just, a huge shout out, and mainly my family and my wife. I couldn't do any of this without her. Hell yeah. And shout out to my son Valen, that's given me something to strive to do, to show him what a man should be. And when he gets older, he kind of realizes what he needs to do and be a great human, you know what I mean? Because that's what it's about in life. Hell yeah. Shout out to Bobby, you know what I mean? You for getting me on here. I appreciate it. You know? Appreciate it. Yep. Just thank you everyone that has my back in this time. Of course, man. Well, I love the energy. I always, like I've said, I've seen you guys race a million times. I always love being around you. You always have a great attitude. And I look forward to see you guys in the race season this year. And I like to see what you got going on, man. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing what you got. Alrighty, thank you. All right, man. Text you next time. All right. That was a good one, man. You know, it's been a hot minute since we had a good guest on. And you know what? I can't wait for the winter series, because really this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing some good interviews, good conversations, good questions, some shit talking. You know, I mean, who's our next guest? Who should we bring on next? It's been a man. We haven't had guests on for so long. Forgot how fun this is. So, chat, as usual, what do you think is the next person we should get on the show? Who do you think? I'm wondering. Chat room was quiet tonight. Super quiet. 81 Race says, I have an endurance Sea-Doo ski available for Thailand. Just saying. Man, one year I'm going to go to Thailand on a race. I don't know if I can do the endurance race, but I'll do closed course.
Them Thai guys don't fuck around though. And neither do the lady boys racing either. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to do that one. What's our next? As always, like figure out what our next interview is going to be. Probably just going to get Daryl on the next show, and we're going to go over, fine-tune some videos, some rule changes, some comments, and I think we're just going to talk some more shit. I don't think anyone messaged me. No one messaged me yet. Nope. So Hotchkiss. All right. So everyone keeps asking me about Frazier because Ann Glennon got her on her show. Here, I'm going to say, and Hotchkiss, I'm with you on this one. Frazier has already agreed to come on my show, but I'm waiting for him to come on my show. Right? Hear me out why. I want to bring Frazier on when he doesn't have to be a lawyer. I want Frazier to come on when I can have Scott Frazier on. Not lawyer, protect, talk like this. I talk to that dude on a regular basis, and he's already told me, whenever I'm ready, bring him on. I'm bringing him on the moment he's done with World Finals and he has no more ties to IJSBA, because I want that man to unleash all the fuck yous and the names that we can possibly ever imagine, because that's going to be one epic show then. I believe that's going to be one of our most epic shows ever. So Scott Frazier is already on the queue to get him on, and that's going to be a special one. I can't wait for that one. Who else? You guys know the routine. Bring him on. We'll get it going. I think that's it. You guys know the routine. It is the 239. It is Monday Night Raw. It is only one. CardoneRaceCorner. Till next time. We'll catch you in the flip side.